social media in general is a little bit in decline, and I think Facebook is primarily for older Kiwis now, who are obviously more likely to vote, so it's always going to be important in that sense. But younger Kiwis are tending to either just log off social media completely or move to platforms like TikTok. But TikTok, of course, comes with its own host of issues. It's not exactly a tenable platform for politicking when it's banned on parliamentary devices. Moving over to Twitter, that comes with issues as well, as Twitter is increasingly, unstable both technically just and as a business. So I think the era of social media is going through a transitional phase, and we're going to see increasingly other tools both supplant social media and supplement it.
Like AI?
Yes, what a lovely segue we just did. Yes, NatGPT is entered the chat, and I think electioneering may never be the same. Look, I think we can't really credit artificial intelligence for much so far in terms of national. I think the discourse around their use of those tools probably gave them more than a bump than the actual tools themselves. But I think the important thing here is that AI right now is basically just being used to streamline the creation of photos, streamline the creation of text. It's kind of like a superpowered Microsoft Word or Adobe Photoshop. But it's moving incredibly quickly. I did the first story on the ChatGPT predecessor for The Nation late last year, and frankly, it's a little bit frightening how fast and how far it's come. And so I think we are at a bit of a political pivot point now. Considering how powerful these tools are becoming and how deeply entrenched they're becoming online, we really need to start asking pretty serious questions about how much of our political process we're willing for them to touch.
Oh, yeah, next they'll be up to policy. It is such a fast moving area, Finn. What is on the horizon as we look towards the election? Now only 4.5 months away.
Yeah, so, if we look internationally, we've already seen fully AI-generated attack ads used by the Republicans in the US, and these tools are, as I mentioned, becoming increasingly embedded in pretty much every online platform that we use, and they're increasingly capable of acting with minimum human input, like creating increasingly sophisticated outputs on very little human input. So I think the worry is, as we look towards the future, if we don't regulate, as a candidate, I could very soon use a suite of artificial intelligence tools to write my speeches, generate my images, help plan my campaigns, draft my talking points, clone my voice and my likeness, and create very convincing content without having me needing to be there physically whatsoever. And so when you speak to AI researchers who are particularly worried in this space, they warn that if we don't regulate, the current election cycle that we're in could be the last sort of human-only election cycle. And that means that by the time we get to our next election cycle, instead of elections being primarily a battle of political ideology and who can most convincingly express it, we might end up with a situation where it's a battle of who has the most advanced and expensive artificial intelligence model. And if we get there, that could have pretty profound consequences for our democracy.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind an AI double, though, as we head into the election campaign. Help me with my workload. Thank you so much, Finn. Always a pleasure.